Well, here's Biscuit, the probable cause of some trouble with the Shark V400 Rotator Professional, and wanted to add one little possibility to some very capable YouTubes I've seen about suction loss and the Shark. And this is a fix that ended up being the most effective fix. Actually was done with a push dust mop, and my wife, I will work on lawn equipment because my income depends on it, but I didn't want to touch this. She took out a zillion screws, looked in here when we had suction loss, nothing. Surprised she put it back together or found all the screws. Then of course the most obvious thing that, press the silver button, that would look for would be what you see every time you take the canister off. As somebody pointed out in Shark's Little Secret, you do get suction loss because there are filters in here that follow the whirling dust and grit falling out chamber to keep your house from getting dusty. There are not just these two filters, which my wife washed and let dry, as many have pointed out, but also twisting this little butterfly shaped knob, we find the HEPA filter, which we actually, for more than a year of using it commercially, my wife had never looked. And this is the old one. And as soon as I saw there was something like this with pleats of paper, this immediately bad deja vu about how so many, like Briggs and other small lawn equipment engines, have gone to a paper filter that invariably costs $8 or more and fills up fast if you use it for mulching or live in a dry place like Texas, you know. And I said, well, go ahead and wash it, which she did, and scrubbed on it under the sink with spray and so on, let it dry. But I said that's really not going to help, because I've been able to extend the life of pleated paper filters, you know, once or twice by tapping and so on. Even running them through the washing machine with clothes, it doesn't really, it must be some microscopically small pores that just are too hard to clean. So ordered this, put it in, and found out that the vacuum cleaner was still whining at a high pitch, clearly getting no, it's clearly a blockage somewhere. But you could feel plenty of air blowing out the vent once you took it apart and turned it on. You could feel a lot of air being sucked into here. And we went back to something that was the very first thing we tried, and that was to try and make sure there wasn't a wad of, this is a nice fix I did with some Velcro tabs when the original little piece broke, probably a weak spot on the V400. But anyway, we tried to make sure that this hose was completely clear. Pinch the two tabs. We took it out, stretched it out, tried to look through it, which you can't because it's too floppy to put it by a light source. It's clear, but it's a dirty kind of clear now after. So we couldn't see a blockage. We ran something all the way through here and then went on to do all these other more expensive things. After we hooked it back up and felt mucho suction being generated until we hooked up this gray hose, which is clear but a dusty kind of clear. We ran the dust mop handle through the entire length, and did feel resistance somewhere around the middle, probably where it takes a loop, and pushed it toward this wand handle, and it stopped right around here and just became extremely difficult to push through. And basically what had happened was, the first time we had pushed a narrower, actually a cane from our we had pushed this cane from our walking stick collection, our sentimental walking stick collection, through there, and apparently had gone right through the middle of the dust ball and not realized it. So when we use something bigger, and I'm thinking a long dowel or something would be even better, we pushed it. We got to where it was extremely difficult to push the wad of stuff through. Eventually a portion of it came through, and the rest followed. We're almost afraid of giving it an aneurysm here, but pushing so hard. And with this much stuff, you can see why we were getting zero suction. And I don't intend to try and make the dog guilty. And my wife does use this commercially, and other people have cats, and we will not assign blame there. So there's a thought. If you have done a lot with your shark and never really made sure that, I could almost see something pulling something through here with, no, can't do that. Yeah, I would just I would recommend the long push broom handle. Over and out. Okay, Biscuit, you're okay. You're okay. You're the best dog we have ever had or even seen.